Better way to start a Q&A video with showcasing the Young ride. You guys get the rare chance to see this. Yeah, it is pretty shitty outside, but yeah, fucking Robbie driving a Chrysler fucking 200.
MKohl40. So, everything you guys have asked for the Q&A, it's all right here. 13 pages. Also on another note, 95% of you guys would not trade a testicle to win a YCS. You guys are lying to yourselves. That 1 week of fame, definitely really worth it. So, guys, remember, these videos will be a little bit more interpersonal. Please remember that. Try to answer everything we can here. So, St. Maddox asks, why are you such a fucking cuck? So, sometimes you're just not feeling adequate, so you gotta call up your homie to come get the job done that you really can't get done. It's one of the more sad realizations in life. Just kidding, just kidding. But I don't know, man. Cuck has been one of those terms lately. It seems like it's been going around more with people feeling like America's not really being their own anymore. It's really interesting, actually. I'm actually kind of shocked. I love having to take breaks to sneeze. So, Havoc asks, what would a Spirit or Archfiend deck be ranked in tier based off of the current format? What is an Archfiend engine, and what are their playstyle commonly built around? Does Red Dragon Archfiend sub-archetype have synergy to the Archfiend archetype? Similar questions about Spirit monsters with their engine and synergy. Well, first off, Spirits and Archfiends I would consider to be probably tier 3 to tier 4. Spirit's definitely better than Archfiends. Archfiend engine would probably be something around Pandemonium, Mazaretaville. A very long time ago, actually, we built a Mazaretaville deck on this channel. Years ago. I would love to see that deck be playable again, but having to have Pandemonium and a bunch of other things to resolve it's just too hard. Does Red Dragon Archfiend sub-archetype have synergy with the Archfiend archetype? No, because yeah, all of the Archfiend stuff might work with it, but I don't know. As for Spirit monsters, I've seen it work in its own deck. There's the new Spirit Ritual monsters that just came out that are pretty good, but I don't know. Spirits were a fun deck when they came out because Aratama and Nishitama were really cool, but I don't think so, not anymore. So Makoto asks, do you think cards could exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! That directly target named cards from someone's deck? Probably. There are plenty of cards in Magic that say something like, name a card, look into your opponent's deck, graveyard, and hand exile all copies of that card. Is an effect like this unfathomable in Yu-Gi-Oh? There are, 3 cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! With a variant of this effect. Things like Nobleman cards, Extermination, Crossout, Chain Disappearance, Chain Destruction. I think having a card with some cost that lets you remove cards from your opponent's usage would be interesting. There's the one spell card that lets you declare a card name. You can add it from your opponent's deck to their hand, but that's really the extent of an effect that exists currently like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! I definitely would like to see something like that be implemented. I agree. I think it would be a little bit more of a side deckish card. We do have something pretty much like that with Lullaby of Obedience. Being able to name a monster and essentially remove one of those copies from your opponent's resources. Coming in at what, 2,000 life? Definitely not a bad use. I think Lullaby is going to be to the extent in which we're going to really get that, though, to be honest with you guys. But an effect like that, having more of that be readily available wouldn't be bad for spells and traps. But honestly, Lullaby is pretty much the newest addition we've had. So, alright, Chaos He'll ask, I had a dream that I met you last night. Is that a weird thing? I mean, maybe it was creeping in your room You never know, man. Sometimes we do strange things on the side. Because, you know, like, we're not making enough money on the YouTube revenue, so, I mean, I do make a good Santa Claus. Maybe I'm just, you know, checking some chimneys and some shit. So, Raul Jordan, what deck will win Nats? Is True Draco Zoo the best variant? So, what will win Nats? Probably a Zoo variant. Don't quote me on that, but making this video in May, I'm assuming that Zoo will be the best variant. Probably pure because the combos are insane. Maybe a Kaiju variant. True Draco is very good, but it depends on how many players have access to Kaijus effectively. Can they draw the Kaijus? Can they effectively resolve said Kaijus? So I think that's something else to keep in mind, but for this current point in time, definitely leaning towards pure. So guys, allergies are really starting to act up this time of year for me. So, Randiator asks, is there a Yu-Gi-Oh card that you collect? It can be anything. Monster, spell, trap. If so, what card and how many do you have? As for me, I collect Karibos. I have 467 of them. So, the card I was collecting for the longest time was actually Mirage of Nightmare. It was one of my favorite cards in Traditional. I think I have over 100 copies of the Super. I never really collected the Secrets, unfortunately. I kind of wish I would have, but it's kind of been one of those cards throughout the course of time that I kind of stopped collecting. Low-key, though, like, Iria is my favorite Charmer, so if you guys got any Irias, hit me up. I'd like to start getting a collection of those going again. Might actually do something cool with this channel. I also have a lot of old fan art. Kept a lot of signed cards. Actually, I think I have everything. One of the things I was doing throughout the course of time was a collection for YouTube of cards I got from my subscribers that were signed, and I still have all of those. At some point, I'll make a really cool video showcasing those, because a lot of my viewer base, I think you guys will really appreciate that. So, Mirage of Nightmare, about 100 copies. So, Jose Ortega asks, what made you want to play this game? Were your parents supportive of this hobby? Let me tell you guys the beginnings of Yu-Gi-Oh for me. So, I started playing this game 13 years ago? What was it, 2004 when LB came out? I was a young, up-and-coming Pokemon player at the time. God, base set was my shit, man. Got into the game because of a good friend of mine, actually. We went to locals one day for Pokemon League, and I just saw that Yu-Gi-Oh come out. Of course, went and bought my Dark Magician structure, because Dark Magician was a fucking shit. And my friend had Blue Eyes White Dragon, and me being very young and naive at the time, I thought it was bullshit because Blue Eyes could fucking beat Dark Magician with no real threat. And it's ridiculous. Why are you selling fucking starter decks when one is clearly better than the other? So, a very good friend of mine, actually me and another friend, actually there'd be 4 of us now, it'd be Danny, Mike Payne, Aaron, and myself were the original 4 Yu-Gi-Oh players in Fort Wayne. Unfortunately, Aaron died from cancer a year ago, which still really sucks, but I haven't got the chance to. Any of you guys know anyone by the name of Mike Payne in Washington? A very, very, very old friend of mine. Actually lost contact with him 4 years ago. I'd love to get in touch with the guy again. Very, very good old friend. You know, he was a Pokemon professor last time I talked to him 4 years ago. So it's kind of one of those friendships that you kind of miss. And I mean, because of that person, you know, I got the chance to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I lost contact with him. It's one of the things I regret in life. Really wasn't anything out of my control, but you know, if you guys happen to know him, you guys live up there, you know, give him a holler. Be like, yo, this dude wants to talk to you. You know, it's really hard when people don't use Facebook these days. So, my parents were very supportive of the hobby, actually. My grandparents actually used to be really big into buying and selling. My grandmother used to buy and sell comics, which is very, very weird. Coming from a person, my grandmother passed away, I think 5 years ago. I've kind of been in a family of literally buying and selling. And it's really interesting growing up because my grandparents were hoarders. They would go to garage sales and buy a lot of stuff. And they would run their own garage sale, try to make money off of the random stuff they would buy. And keep in mind, this is before eBay, but man, when my grandmother died, there was so much shit. No, one of the other regrets I have is being younger. I wish I would have taken time to go through a lot of those old comics my grandmother had, because a lot of them were worth a lot of money, and that's a lot of money that I probably won't get the chance to ever see again. But can't really control these things. You know, when you're young and naive, it really sucks. So, but for the most part, my parents were very supportive of my hobby because, you know, I grew up in a situation where things like that were good. My father collects old classic cars. It's not Matchbox shit, but more or less along the lines of diecast and things like that. So, like I said, I've grown up around that. Next up, Popo237 asks, how do you feel about the rarity changes in the TCG? What do you think about Duel Links? So first off, I'm supportive of the rarity changes. I like nice, expensive, shiny things. I've always grown up realizing that if I want something, I have to work for it. I know a lot of people are gonna fucking rail me for that mentality, but if everyone has access to everything, then there's no point in Konami selling product. And I know that's one of the underlying points that a lot of people just don't understand. And, you know, I've tried to educate a lot of people on that, but there's only so much you can do, man. And what do I think about Duel Links? I have not played Duel Links. I wanted to do a segment on it. When I was really big into Brave Frontier, I thought it would be kind of a cool thing to do. I just never really got into it, you know. Like, I don't have enough time in my day, you know. You guys always wondered why I'm not, like, on the Zodiac stream with John some nights. There's just not enough time in the day, man, to do everything. You know, like, I like watching anime. Like, I get to watch maybe one episode of anime in Japanese sub every 2 days. And that's like 30 minutes before bed. So, I usually put on dub in the background while I'm doing inventory. So, don't really get the chance to really do that. Duel Links would have been something cool should have jumped on. But for the time being, no. Alright, Soulblade Inen asks, how do you think Yu-Gi-Oh as a franchise, or how long do you think Yu-Gi-Oh as a franchise will last? Though we're just getting to link summoning, do you think Konami will be able to produce more summoning methods? And any thoughts if they should continue? And finally, my thoughts about coming to Hawaii. Would be awesome to meet you one day. Well, sir, first off, I think Yu-Gi-Oh's got another 10 years of life in it. We're getting, what, new summoning techniques every 3 years? 2 years? So they only need to produce 3 more things to get another 10 years. I think, I still haven't done red cards yet. Thoughts on going to Hawaii, though? I would love to see Honolulu, to be completely honest with you. Hawaii seems like one of the coolest places I could ever visit. Japan's first on my list, though. Gotta go weeb out. It would be really nice to meet more of my subscribers. You know, it really warms my heart that you guys want to meet me someday. But for the most part, I'm afraid of heights. I don't really want to fly. Just kind of something over time that I've kind of not wanted to do. So, but if I'm ever in Hawaii, I'll let you guys know. You guys will know. Continuing on down our beautiful list of questions here. Fizzy Pro asks, what were, in your opinion, the 3 most fun and diverse formats you've ever played in? Don't give me that Teledad bullshit. First off, Teledad was a fun format because I actually topped that format. Going into Shonen Jump Detroit in 2008, I felt that I had a very good shot of winning the event because of the deck idea that Jordan Nazar had come up with. Mirror Wall Gadgets was pretty fucking innovative at the time. You guys know? But that format takes the cake. My second favorite format actually was... what was it? September 2012 format? Fucking Samurai has won a goddamn YCS. That whole format was very, very, very weird. Honestly, I think Frog FTK format was pretty fucking fun. Frog FTK was one of those formats that kind of came out of the left field. You know, like that format before Frog FTK, it was what, X-Sabers, Rescue, Cat, and Gadgets. There's a lot of very good diversity in there, and it was near the end of the format that it really got ruined. So, it's probably my 3 favorite formats. Teledad's a fan favorite of mine, not because of Teledad, but because I was the one Gadget player in that format that gave people a lot of hope. And I don't know if that hope can really be achieved anymore. Like, it was nice to see a pillar of light for a lot of players in this community, and I'm really glad that they got the chance to enjoy that. So just take it for what it's worth, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed Gadgets throughout the years. Really, really means a lot to me. So, next up, King of Bar. Do you have any tips for those starting to sell cards? My personal interest is to maybe recoup the losses of my early days, where I bought nearly a case of Invasion of Vengeance, around 10 megatons, and dozens of infinite gold. I'm also interested in tips for swapping out the bulk of my collection to fill it with more staple cards. Not necessarily trying to make a lot of money, just break even in the game. So, first off, you shouldn't buy cards. You shouldn't get into this industry. I'm not going to be one of the first people to tell you this. Yu-Gi-Oh's a black hole. And even if you feel like you're doing relatively well in terms of buying, it's very hard, because even if card has value today, like if you're buying Sanctums at $15 a piece, you know, while in the hype, as soon as that hype's over, which could be a day later, you could be out money. You know, like, even if you paid 50% of those cards, if no one buys them, it's hard. As for bulk, talk to people that buy bulk. You know, suck it up. I think that would necessarily be a very good thing to do. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Bulk has gone up. I think it's, what, 1.5 pennies a common now? Granted, what, 95% of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are worthless, but in terms of wanting to make money and things like that, I definitely think that you guys should consider moving your bulk into other things. Get yourself a good fucking Ghost Dash for all of your bulk. You know, it takes up less space in your room. And to top things off, you're getting something useful for it. As for making money, little things, man. Little things. You know, buy low, sell low. You know, if you're going to buy it 50%, sell it 70%. Make your 20% margin and move along. Shouldn't feel bad about that. So, it's just some little advice. I hope that is worth something to you. You know, not everyone's going to sell to you, and you also have to understand that profit is profit. Granted, even if it's a couple of dollars, but don't feel bad. Also, returning people is one of the best things that you can ever have. So, Lexi Mexi asks, is Chaos Trap Hole good against Masterpiece? Is it as good as my autofocus? You guys tell me. I don't think so. I don't really like it at all. I don't know why I would want to play Masterpiece. Just some 2 cents there, so wouldn't. Kaijus, that's where it's at. It's all about the kaijus. Ivan Laura asks, what is your annual income after taxes? That the equivalent of 2 part-time jobs. Who is my favorite pro of all time and why? Jordan Nazar. Very phenomenal person. Same thing, honestly, with Justin Delhan. They're both very phenomenal players. They both helped me with gadgets throughout time. You know, Delhan's moved on to more meta, and Nazar's quit because he's got a family now. But they've both been spectacular people. Some of the most powerful friends I've ever met in this game. What is my absolute favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card and why? Motherfucking Iria, the blue-haired charmer, because blue hair, my man. And I even asked, will I marry me? Ivan, if you're the Ivan I'm thinking you are. No, bro. Sorry, Senpai will not notice you today. So, Butt Stuff asks, have you ever had a girlfriend, and are you still a virgin? Actually been through a couple of relationships in my life. I've learned a lot about just the qualms and the woes. God, I'm being cryptic as fuck. I'm definitely not a fucking virgin. I don't know where that misconception comes. Is it because, like, I'm fat? You people think, like, boring-ass personality does not let you secure and do what you need to do? You know, it doesn't work that way for all fucking people. You know, some people are hopeless romantics, like moi. So, yes. Been in 3 relationships over the course of my life. 2 of which went over a year. 1, not so much. So that should answer that question. We've learned a lot about women. Sometimes scary. If gadgets were illegal in Yu-Gi-Oh, what deck would you play more of? Whatever kind of is in the meta. If you guys don't know, recently I was talking about, actually, sorry, D3BB. I've been talking about playing meta more recently. And if gadgets were illegal, I probably would have been playing Teledad. It was really a time that I wanted to focus on gadgets. Was the ability to want to break decks. So playing meta kind of taught me that. And we're kind of getting back into the swing of that. Definitely don't think we're going to play gadgets anymore. Also, D3VB asks, what mirror match in Yu-Gi-Oh do you think is the best and worst to watch? Gladiator Beast. That fucking mirror match gave me fucking... give me cancer. Team Matashe OTK asks, what was my favorite format and why? We already talked about Teledad. We talked about fucking the 2 formats I've topped. But Tier 0 Lightsworn also gets an honorable mention. Actually, we'll throw Tier 0 in for this one. Tier 0 Lightsworn, over the Valentine's Day Regional, you had 2 decks to pick from. Actually, you had 3. Twilight Thorn, Pure Lightsworn, and if you were feeling cheeky, Destiny Hero Water. Being able to just kind of make Absolute Zero seemed a lot, even though Judgment Dragon added it. Those were fun days. Archlord Christie was my fucking shit, alright? That old deck that Silverman came up with, at that time, I was really fucking rocking that shit. I had a lot of fucking fun. In terms of formats that I had a lot of fun with, that was one. Pokemaniac asks, what got you started on Yu-Gi-Oh? And how long do you plan on playing the game for? Well, I'm going to play this game until it dies, because, you know, I'm one of the oldest Yu-Gi tubers still here. And honestly, no, engaging with my audience is probably one of the reasons keeping me in this game. Got started in Yu-Gi-Oh, like I said, 14 years ago. Mainly did it because of friends. And I met a lot of great people in this game, and I don't really think that's going to change. As I said earlier, I wish I would have the ability to get in contact with some of my friends. But, yeah. Why are people Zealous, I believe it's Zealous, or there's no L. ZWEIIOUSEXE says, why are people asking deck building questions for Q&A? Because people are genuinely curious. I don't really open the floor up for a lot of Q&A, talking to my audience. So they want to, I guess, get as much knowledge from me as they can. I don't have any problem with that. So can't rag on for the things people want to ask. Andrew Luttrell asked, are you excited for what Link format brings to the game in terms of ingenuity and creativity moving forward? Yes. Also, would you consider having a series of like an archetype review, etc.? Yes. Regardless, the only other question I have is, I've been considering joining your Patreon, but are you active with your Patreon subs? So, 3 questions here. I like what link format brings to the game. It was an attempt to slow down the game. It's very creative. I think Konami's going down the right path there. As for an archetype review, I'm open to new things. I really haven't touched on things like that because I like giving my opinion. You know, I was a person growing up for many years on this channel that I didn't want to have a set schedule. So kind of bringing myself into something like that kind of bogs me down. Thursdays and Fridays, actually, I'm freaking out. Like, we forgot to do the OCG thing this week, so when me and my friends were sorting cards, I'm like, guys, I gotta leave you for like 15 minutes. Like, I legit forgot to do OCG Thursday. So we went and did that. As for being active with my Patreons, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still figuring out what we're doing. My Patreon has literally been the shirt fund every month. You know, like, everyone's like, Robbie, you need some new shirts, and you guys just couldn't let me keep my, like, same blue shirt that I have 4 of. So, we've been using it as the shirt fund, but at some point, you know, I'm still going through what I want to do on this channel. We've stepped our shit up from where this channel was months ago, and where we're going and where we are now, we're maybe 1/4 of where we want to be. So, I would like to have you support me on Patreon, but if you feel at this current point in time that it's not going to be, you know, the venture that you want, then don't stress out, man. You know, I ask the people that are supporting me to support me. You know, we're going to be working on getting 60 FPS cameras soon. Oh, I can't fucking wait to do Vanguard videos in 60 FPS. Same thing with Yugioh. You know, but small baby steps. Alright? You know, like I said, Andrew, if you want to support me, I would greatly appreciate it. Give me time, man. You know, can't build the fucking Great Wall of China overnight. I really wish we could, but... Missing number ask, how old were you when you got laid? 21? 20? God, it's been so long, I don't fucking remember. Really wish we did. Early 20s. We'll go with that. Teen Easy Wins ask, who are your favorite non-pro Yu-Gi-Oh players in Zodiac tournaments? God, gotta love fucking your brother. So, non-pro Yu-Gi-Oh players. I feel like this is a question. First off, my boy Ethan Shorten, St. Maddox. I love him to death. Very good player. The guy that won a couple months ago, I don't remember his name. Matt Nistico, Jeffrey Torres. That's all I can really think of at the moment. Doing this impromptu. There's probably more. If I forgot, I apologize. So please, in fact, bear with me. So those are probably my favorites. What are your thoughts on the Spiral archetype? I had hope until I read Sleeper. That's from Cody Carry On. Honestly, Spirals had a lot going for them. They were one of the coolest archetypes that could have been designed, but unfortunately, it didn't go the way that I think it should have. Joe Sabot asks, who would win in a fist fight, Simo or Nifnim? Simo, hands down. Simo looks like the kind of guy that would rip off his dick furiously masturbating. Like, I would be afraid to be around Simo when he's angry, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Fox the Ice God asks, what's the most you've ever spent on a meta deck? In Vanguard or Yu-Gi-Oh? Vanguard, Blinging Out Gear Chronicles was near $3,000. Yu-Gi-Oh! Just bought diagrams. Last 2 diagrams at 90 a piece. Bought 1 for 80. Ghost Ashes, 210. Probably Zoo recently, for what I can think of. Probably put 800 in Zoo. Maestro Co asks, what car do you drive? Chrysler 200. You saw it at the intro of this series. And can we get a green Robbie? That is on the Patreon to-do list when I'm ordering shirts this month. We are definitely going to fucking get a green shirt. Maybe something aqua-y. You know, like Aqua Robbie would be cool. Joe Girl asks, what's your fetish? I gotta think about this. Blue dresses are very attractive. And stockings are very, very nice. Joe Girl also asks, what's my job? This is my job. As I said, we make probably the equivalent to 2 part-time jobs. So, man. Not capable of really doing anything else. Should just open a card job. Oh, this guy asked. Joe Girl also asked a lot of other good questions here, guys. So, how much do I weigh? Roughly about 390 to 400, somewhere along there. It's been a little while since I've had my weight done. I'm 6'4". I've never been arrested. What kind of car do I drive? My Chrysler 200. Play video games. Digimon World 3 was my fucking shit. How many times do I poop a day? Twice. Do you sit or stand to wipe? Sit. Send nudes. I cannot. Any fucking video of me doing the truffle shuffle is basically porn. And no, I don't love you. You poor, 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 poor soul. Edwin Carballo asks, hey Robbie, would you think it would be nice for the Dragon Lords to be back at 1 each with current effects? Or for them to get erratas? He has a big penis. Very big. Very big. That's not all, folks. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please check out my Cardfight Vanguard channel, MKohl40. You guys will get an insight on our playtesting sessions. And please check out the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. That way you guys can follow the House of Champions and MKohl40 interactions. Please check out MKohl Games for all of your guys' trading card game needs. And if you guys enjoyed this content, please check out my Patreon in the description. Every bit helps to the creation of these videos. One step at a time in improvement, and that's the goal of this channel. Alright guys, have a good time, and thanks for watching.